Clicker 6 is a programme to help support literacy, and it may be a programme which Aspects has recommended for a child in your school. So this video is going to give you a whistle-stop tour of Clicker 6 and some of the functionality that you will use. If a member of the Aspects team have attended your school to deliver Clicker 6 training, the likelihood is that the following video will act as a revision. So we'll get started. I've already launched Clicker 6, and the Clicker 6 information will probably launch like this on your screen. The very first thing that will come up is the Quick Start menu, and I'll often refer to that as the lightning bolt of inspiration at the top there. So if I refer to that as the lightning bolt of inspiration at the top, you'll know exactly what it is I'm speaking about. For the moment though, I am just going to close down that window. We'll come back to it later on. I'm going to try and move this from my screen so that you can see the whole of the Clicker 6 up at the top. So there are a variety of menus up at the top here, and the one that I would normally concentrate on first would be the Options menu. So we'll just have a quick look at that one. Clicking on the Options menu and going first to User Preference, and within the window that appears you have 6 different tabs. And I'll go through some of the functionality within each of the tabs that you may change. So within Document, Clicker 6 is by default set to automatically customise the first letter of each sentence, automatically capitalise names and proper nouns, and check the spelling as you type. Now, if the people that you're dealing with has any of these as their targets, so perhaps they're working on capital letters and full stops, you might want to uncheck some of these boxes. In this section too, you can change the default font style and size for the text that will appear on the screen when the pupil types. So if they are perhaps visually impaired, you may wish to go for a larger font. Bearing in mind, however, the larger font, the more space it's going to take up in the writing area. Speech is the next section, and the preference would be to choose Heather, the Scottish voice, although others are available, including Stuart. You can set the speed of speech, slower, medium, fast obviously, and try that out. And within this section here, by default, Clicker will highlight the text as it is spoken, which I think is quite helpful. You can block highlight the text as it's spoken, or you can choose not to highlight the text as it's spoken. The colour of any highlighting will be red. Again, that can be changed if you wish. At the moment, I have set up the following options in the document. So the Clicker 6 voice will speak when the sentence is punctuated. So as soon as you press the full stop or question mark at the end of the sentence, Clicker will speak that sentence. And if you click on a word, Clicker will also speak that word. You can, if you wish, choose to have the words spoken as soon as they are typed, or you can even drill down as far as having the letters spoken as soon as they are typed. Now that may or may not be helpful. The letters that are spoken are the letter names rather than the letter sounds. So it would say A rather than A, which may not be helpful for a child who is just beginning to get a grasp of the letter sounds. Within Media, Clicker 6 has a picture library of approximately 3,000 images, and that picture library will appear should you choose to have it appearing in any of these 3 options. So at the moment I have pictures showing in the spell checker if there is a picture for that particular word, and also in the predictor if there is a picture for that particular word. You can have the images showing in the document, but remember Clicker 6 is not a symbol processor, so not every single word will have a corresponding symbol. Clicker Set is the next section. Down at the bottom of your page, this area here is what's known as Clicker Set. So the Clicker Set that I currently have showing is the QWERTY Prediction keyboard. And what I prefer to do is to show the QWERTY Prediction keyboard by default. So you'll see that I have selected QWERTY Prediction for my preferred on-screen keyboard, and I've also checked Open My Keyboard when Clicker 6 starts. So at the moment, as soon as I launch the program, that keyboard will automatically show. You can choose that not to be the case, of course, and that would give you more typing area. Or you can choose other keyboards. We have alphabetical with prediction, frequency with prediction, the plain QWERTY keyboard, and QWERTY keyboard with prediction. My personal piece of advice would be to stick with QWERTY or QWERTY Prediction. I appreciate that there might be some use for the other options, alphabetical and frequency, but if a child will eventually progress onto a normal keyboard, then they will encounter the QWERTY keyboard anyway. So I would suggest that you might as well get them started right from the word go on the QWERTY keyboard. However, the choice is yours. Of note as well, at the moment within Clicker Set, it is ticked to enable edit mode. Now, edit mode is this spanner down at the bottom here, and that will allow you to enable a Clicker Set. I'll talk about that more later on. A word of caution: if you've ticked enable edit mode, then that's very handy for you as a teacher to make some changes to a Clicker Set, but be aware that if it is always available, then a child could go into edit Clicker Set and meddle, and sometimes some damage could be done. But I'll talk about that later. Predictor. Clicker 6 has 4 levels of prediction. By default it's set at level 3, and level 3 will give you a large predictor database with 6 words per predictor level. If we go to level 4, you would have a very large predictor database. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think that level 4 is something like 25,000 words perhaps. I could be wrong there. Level 3 is 2,500. Oh, I'm getting muddled here. But certainly as you go along the extra levels at the top there, you are encountering a lot more words in the predicting level. It could be that level 1 is 250, level 2 is 2,500, level 3 is 25,000, and level 4 is 50,000. But don't quote me on those ones. Suffice to say, some people think that if the child doesn't have much vocabulary, they may wish the predictor level to be at either 1 or 2. And if the child has a lot of vocabulary, they may wish the predictor level to be further up the scale. My words of wisdom, if there are such a thing, is that I tend to stick with level 3. The rationale behind that is that if you move to one of the lower levels, that the child who may not have an awful lot of vocabulary at their disposal or may not be able to spell an awful lot of words may become frustrated if the predictor is reduced to such a level that it's not actually predicting the words they wish to use. And conversely, if you put it at level 4, that can provide predictors which are very specific and have vocabulary which is not really the most useful vocabulary, and again that could give some element of frustration to the child. My personal preference is to leave the predictor at level 3. Finally, look and feel. That allows you to cover up, to hide some of the tools that are along the top of the clicker screen. So if you have somebody who spends hours making the one word that they've typed beautiful, you can grey out this particular section of modifications, and that would mean that they wouldn't be able to change the fonts and the font sizes and make them bold and underline them, etc. And that might save time and lead to more productivity. If you have someone who is print happy, you might want to grey out the print area so that they're not constantly clicking print, 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 resulting in 50 copies churning out of your printer. And likewise, if you have somebody who likes to just make a picture of their work and spend more time within the picture than they do within the actual writing section, then you might want to grey out this particular option. Obviously, you would customize it depending on the pupil. So once again, just to reiterate, all of those changes can be done through Options, User Preference, and the 6 different tabs: Document, Speech, Media, Clicker Sets, where the Enable Edit mode lives, Predictor, and Look and Feel can be modified. And I would suggest those changes are done the first time you or the child logs on in order to customize the screen for the pupil. If you're actually using the Clicker program for more than one pupil, you can actually import or export any changes. So once you've modified these changes for the child, let's say the child's name is Andy, then you can export the user options for Andy, and Andy could then pick his particular logon from the start screen. So if I just quickly colour the background, I'm going into user access to do that. I'm going into display, and I'm going to change the document. So I'm going to customize that and change the background colour and make it purple. So customizing it for Andy, Options, Import Export, Export User Information, and I'm going to call that file Andy and save it. So what will happen if we go into the lightning bolt of inspiration, go into the quick start menu, you'll see that there are users which have been created and Andy is one of them. So you could obviously have Andy, Bert, Colin, David, etc. So that was done through the import and export the user options. Back to the options menu again, this time looking at user access. And within user access there are only 2 tabs. The very first tab, the access method, is really to do with children who have physical disabilities and would be using switches in order to access Clicker 6. Obviously, if the child has a touch screen, that might mean that the use of a switch is not needed. If a child is using a switch, then the Aspect staff would set up the access method for them. Something that might be changed though by yourself or by the pupil is in the display section. I've already demonstrated that to a certain degree. So we can change the clicker set and we can change the document background. The clicker set and document background by default would have been set at normal. If you wish to customize anything, you go to the down arrow. If you have a child who has a visual impairment, you might want to choose a high contrast option, or you may just want to customize and make the options one that is preferred by the pupil. So I'm going to choose custom, and I'm going to change the background color for the clicker set, and I'm going to make the background colour, we'll go for a green colour, and any additional colours we'll go for a paler green. And with the document, I am going to again change from normal to custom, and I will make the background colour a nice tan, and I will make the foreground colour, that's the font, we will just go for black. You'll notice there that there are more colours, so you can actually customise according to the needs of the pupil. So we'll see what difference that makes to the document background and to the clicker set when we select OK. Okay, there we go. Now, on seeing that, I'm not overly happy with the look of this clicker set, so I'm going to go back into Options, back into User Access, back into Display, and I'm going to change my clicker scheme, clicker background to something different. So we will choose the blue and the yellow, which I think was the original. Perhaps not. Let's see if we go back to normal, if that then triggers. Yes. So going back to normal will actually change your default settings, and that's what we originally had in the clicker set. So all of these functions have been done through Options, Options User Preference, changing the 6 tabs, Options User Access, concentrating on the Display tab, and Options Import and Export User in order to customise it for an individual pupil. The next step is to actually use Clicker, obviously. Again, I would direct you to the lightning bolt of inspiration. So when you click on the lightning bolt of inspiration, there are 2 tabs that actually appear, and those 2 tabs are the files. So you actually have an area where your files are stored. You can actually right click in there to create a new folder, so you can retain that information for an element of housekeeping. You'll see at the moment I have individual documents there, and it's not particularly neat and tidy, so you might want to right click and create a new folder, and perhaps each pupil that you're dealing with has a separate folder. Within the Files section, can I just draw your attention to free resources? Clicker has a library of free resources set up, and provided you have internet access, it will take you to these free resources, and you have a sliding scale for age range or ability range, and you have various tabs there which will allow you to choose a particular topic. So we might want to go into early years, and within early years we have a variety of pre-prepared clicker grids. So you'll see there from early years that it's not just for literacy, these are actually numeracy. If you like the look of one, you would simply run now, and that grid will eventually open up on your screen. Takes a wee bit of time, my computer seems to be running a tad slowly today, but eventually that will open up, fingers crossed, and it will create a second tab down at the bottom of your screen. Hopefully your network is faster than mine. I am currently working remotely and therefore don't have perhaps as fast connection as you would in schools. Okay, there we go. So this has opened up, lesson, and if we click onwards, you'll see that it's to do with the circus. We have our number line. What is 1 less than 2? So just by clicking on that, it's read out to me. And presumably if I get it wrong, yeah, try again. Okay. Here we go. So you've seen how pre-prepared clicker sets can actually assist you, and you've got obviously something there already through free resources that you can use for the pupils that you are working with. However, you can actually provide or supply things yourself in order to meet the needs of the children. So within the Lightning Bolt of Inspiration and the Quick Start menu, the Lightning Bolt of Inspiration, if you go down to Make a Clicker Set, you can make, for example, a sentence building activity. So I'm going to click on the sentence building activity. And what you could do here is, obviously the writing input would be done, and sitting with the child you could ascertain the type of sentences that the child might want to use in their writing. So I went on my holidays, and then I'm taking a new line after each sentence. I went to Spain. It was very hot. We played on the beach. We played in the pool. We played with our friends. I had a great time. I did not want home. So that's quite a few sentences that I've actually typed up there. Now obviously the pupil may not want to put every single one of these into their writing. They may just want to say that they played in the pool, and they may just want to say that they did not want to go home without saying they had a great time. So we've given a bit of selection there, obviously driven by the pupil. Over on the right hand side you can have no model within the clicker grid, because you'll see a preview of the clicker grid down here. So that particular preview has no model in it. You can have a model, so that actually gives the pupil the sentence that they helped to provide. You can give them a pop-up model, which will give them an icon that they can click on and the model appears to remind them. Or you can have a spoken model, again an icon that if you click on they will have the words spoken to them, and they can then click on the words to put them into the sentence. Now I suppose with regards to scaffolding, the first layer of scaffolding would be to provide a model, and thereafter perhaps a pop-up model, and once you've weaned the child off of the pop-up model you could provide a spoken model or no model at all. Choice is yours, bearing in mind the abilities of the pupil. So I'm going to provide a model in the grid, and then once I've done that I am going to create that grid. So what we've got now is we actually have two different tabs over at the bottom here. We still have our QWERTY predictor, and we also have our sentence building activity as well. So they're both there. I am only having to go up to the top part of my screen here because I am recording this video. You will be able to just bounce between these two tabs. So you'll see that what you now have is a variety of sentences that the pupil can use. They can pick the ones they wish to type. They can disregard the others. So we'll give it a go. Click on the grid to get the feedback from Heather, and then copying exercise, a full stop, because we have programmed it to read once it's punctuated, it will do so. press the next button. Maybe they don't want to say they went to Spain. Maybe they just want to go on to it was very hot. Press the next button. Read this. Maybe not the one they want to say first. Right, maybe want to go for this. We played in the pool. And then maybe they want to go back to speak about the beach. And you get the general idea. Okay, I want to go for this one. So that really is the most high level of scaffolding that you would provide for a pupil, in that you've actually given them the sentences and they are copying these sentences into their printed text. What I would suggest is that if you're giving a pupil that level of scaffolding, that you might insist that they have to have something of their own too. So via the QWERTY prediction, or indeed just the QWERTY keyboard, you might insist that they have to put their name into this at the end. So there we go. That's their name put in, or by Andy or something of those. There we go. And that's their piece of text. And then you could save the document. And if you have an Andy folder, then you could put that into the Andy folder. I'll just put it in a new folder there. The title. And at the moment it's going to save as a Clicker document. That is advantageous if you think that Andy would be going back and using that document at a later stage, or you can actually save it as a Microsoft Word document. So you have the choice. So I will save that work. And then if I go Document, you'll see that within the Andy section that he has a document there. And also, if I remember rightly, the star will give us the most recent files that we've actually done. So that's another quick way for Andy to get his work up. Okay, that would be the most level of scaffolding I would suggest you would give for an individual. But you can provide, for example, a word bank. So let's say the pupil has moved on. They don't need the level of scaffolding shown by sentence building, but they maybe are working on topic work, perhaps something to do with a volcano, and they might actually want to have some specific vocabulary for the volcano topic. So in that instance, again, a word bank can easily be produced. So lightning bolt of inspiration, quick start menu, make a clicker set, and this time we're going to make a word bank. Now, you can actually go to a website, or you can go to a pre-prepared document, and you can copy and paste text into this. You don't have to sit and type in words. You may do if you are working with a pupil who says, I definitely want to use these words. You may type the words in. So you might type in lava, and you might type in molten, if you're working on volcanoes, obviously. Fire. These may be words that you wish to type in, and at the moment it's set for an alphabetic grid, but you do have the option to choose one grid or a topic grid. So in that instance I would probably choose one grid because I don't actually have many words. But if I'm bringing some text from a website, then maybe I want to put it into an alphabetic grid. So I'll just demonstrate that. I'm going to open up my Internet Explorer and I'm just going to search for something on volcanoes. There's various sites. Wiki's as good as any just for the vocabulary. So we'll go into Wikipedia and here's some vocabulary on a volcano. So I'll just take the chunk at the top there. So as usual, if I right click I can copy. And if I go back into the Clicker document, now right clicking and paste won't work. You have to do it from Clicker's own part of the program. So I'm going to paste from the clipboard. There's all the vocabulary that I had from the Wikipedia site. And over here it has populated everything into alphabetical grids. And you can actually filter that out. So you could take away the 32 of the most common words, you could take away the 100, 250, or you can make it really subject specific by taking away 2,000 of the common words. So I'm going to take away 2,000 of the common words and I'm going to create an alphabetical bank of words based on the information that I just took from Wiki. So you'll see that all of these words are arranged in alphabetical order. And if your pupil is writing something specific on volcanoes, then you can quite easily provide them with a bank of words that they may wish to have in their writing. So just to recap, we have the QWERTY prediction. We also made a sentence building activity. And if your pupil has moved on from requiring the scaffolding of sentence building, you've got a word bank as well that you can make. Another thing that you can do is you can make a topic bank. So again, lightning bolt of inspiration, quick start menu, make a clicker set. So within the word bank, this time I'm going to choose not an alphabetic grid nor one grid, I'm going to choose a topic grid. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use almost like a colourful semantics type layout in that every sentence will have a noun, every sentence will have an adjective, every sentence will have a noun, an adverb, and a verb. So my adjectives may be old, young, wicked, intelligent, or let's go for not intelligent, we'll go for just had a mental blank on all the adjectives that I can use. Happy, beautiful, etc. You get the idea. And now the next one we're going to use is noun. So we might go for dog, cat, baby, man, girl, boy. Then we go for the adverb. Quickly, slowly, noisily, stupidly, and then we go for the verb. Shouted, ran, laughed, walked. So you get the picture. We've got the four categories: adjectives, nouns, adverbs, and verbs. And what's actually happened over here is we've created a topic grid with those four categories. So we can create that. Did I just cancel that? I think I maybe did. Let's do it again then. So topic grids. Lightning bolt of inspiration. Or did I? Let's have a look. There we go. It is there. Doubting myself. So we now have a second word bank, which has those very things that we have listed. So we can say, the beautiful baby noisily laughed, and then full stop. A clever cat quickly jumped. And so on. You get the idea. So you can structure something that will allow a pupil to successfully type a number of sentences whilst having an element of choice. And that was done via the lightning bolt of inspiration, quick start menu, make a clicker set, word bank, and this time we chose not an alphabetic grid, not one grid, but a topic grid. And very quickly we get something that will allow a pupil to type quite a few different sentences if they wish. Now if I close these word banks, it will automatically ask you if you want to save them. I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to save it within the new folder, which would be Andy's work. And this could be noun, adjective, verb, and you might want to just August. There we go. And again, it will ask you if you want to save the next one when you close it down. And again, I'll save it in Andy's work. And that one is volcano vocab. And once again, if I close these down, sentence building, yes. Save it in what will be Andy's work, sentence building, my holiday, Spain. And then we're left with the default QWERTY keyboard. So very, very easily you can provide scaffolding via lightning bolt of inspiration, quick start, make a clicker set. There are other clicker sets that you can dabble with. For example, you might want to do a matching activity. I'll show you that very, very quickly. So you can match a picture to a picture to a picture and word, a picture to a word, or you can change the top parts. You can have a word which is matched to a picture, and so on. So a variety of combinations. So I'm going to go a word matched to a picture. I'm then going to click on next. And it's easiest to use the Crick Picture Library to get words. So I'm going to add pictures from the Crick Picture Library. There are a variety. So we are maybe working on a particular topic. Perhaps you're working on things in the home. So I'm going to go for, that is actually type of homes rather than things in the home. Maybe not a good category. So I'll go back one. Let's say you have a passion for, let's see what's in the colours one. I'm going to go dinosaurs. So there's your dinosaurs. Not many of them, but you can choose the ones that you actually wish to be in your work. So I will select all, and then I'm going to insert them into my activity. Over at the side here, choose how many options you have. So you might want to have 4 different options of dinosaurs, and then you can create. And there we go, there's all the words that we're going to be encountering. And I have no idea what type of dinosaur that is, so we'll guess. Obviously not that one. Oh dear. There we go. So that's an example of a matching activity. I'm not going to save that one. I don't think it was my finest hour. We'll go for another simple matching activity. So quick start menu, make a clicker set, matching activity. I'm going to choose a word to a picture. Next, add pictures, Crick Picture Library, and let's go for colours. So I'm going to select all of those colours, I'm going to insert them, and I want 4. We'll go for 3. And then create. And there's all the different colours so that you can do your input beforehand. You can see what they are. And then you can start the activity. Okay, you get the general idea. So there's a matching exercise. I like that one, so I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it in this folder, and I'm going to call that matching colour. Save. So very quickly, that was all of these things through the lightning bolt of inspiration, make a clicker set, and what we've done is we've made a sentence building activity, a word bank, and we've also done a matching one too. There are a variety for you to dabble with. I spoke about earlier the edit clicker set, which will allow you to make changes to your clicker set. And if I click on this spanner here, you'll see that it takes me under the bonnet, and I have this clicker grid, and I can modify that if I wish to. So perhaps the people that you're working with is working with vowels. And so I'm going to actually colour all of the vowels at the moment. We'll make them red. There we go. By holding down Control and clicking, you can do a few of them at once. Here we go. So I've changed those colours. Do not click on the X button. That will close Clicker. Instead, what you want to do is you want to find that spanner at the bottom again and click on the spanner, and that will take you back in to the actual Clicker document, and you'll see now that you've got a wee bit of scaffolding there and that all your vowels have been coloured. So if the pupil is working on a particular area, like every word needs a vowel, or TH, or I before E, whatever it is they're working on, you can highlight those particular elements of the QWERTY keyboard. Now, I did say to you a word of caution before regarding the edit clicker set being open, because as you can imagine, if the pupil now can get into here, they can do all sorts of mischief. I've seen pupils who've picked up letters and moved them and then just ended up with a real mess of a keyboard, and it's not been pretty. So what I would suggest you do is, if you do want to edit anything, I would suggest that you as a teacher or the PSA would make those changes and then immediately go into Options, User Preference, Clicker Set, and uncheck Enable Edit Mode and save that. And what that then means is when the pupil uses this clicker program, Edit Clicker Set is actually greyed out, and it's not allowing me to do anything with Edit Clicker Set. So we're fine. We've greyed that out. So that's a whistle-stop tour of Clicker. The options, user preferences we had a look at. The options, user access, changing the display colour at the back. the options, importing and exporting a user so that you can make individual users, background colours, etc. for individual pupils. The clicker sets, beg your pardon, the lightning bolt of inspiration, the free resources which are available from the Crick Picture Library, or rather the Crick website, and the lightning bolt of inspiration, quick start menu, and we went to make a clicker set. We've done a sentence building activity, a word bank, and we've also done a matching activity too, although there are many, many more. I hope you will manage to get some benefit from this video, and if you have any questions, you can either go straight to the website for Cricksoft. So Cricksoft are the makers of Clicker, and they have a website which has training, and within that website you'll see that the majority of it is Clicker 7 now, because obviously they've moved up, but there is Clicker 6 training, and there are some guides that can help you within that website. The 90-second training guides are particularly useful, and it gives you individual bits and bobs about a variety of topics. Or alternatively, get in touch with Aspects. Thank you for watching.